All right, hey guys, this is Josh Shoemaker here again with another bowling bar review. Again, joined here with fellow staffer Dan Keenan. This video here, we're going to bring you guys the all-new Roto Grip Attention Star. So for me, ever since the UFO alert was in parentheses banned and taken from production, I've been hoping that Roto Grip would release a ball that was going to be very close to it. The Roto Grip came out with the clone, which was a good piece, but definitely for me was miles apart from how the alert was. So as soon as I saw the specs come out with this Attention Star, I had high hopes. So I ended up drilling them the same as my alert, and they're pretty much neck and neck with each other. So we'll start off here for myself, the Attention Star, and I'll go to the alert. And then Dan has an Attention Star, and he's going to go into a clone to give you guys a little bit different of a shape as well. So these lanes are pretty chopped up at this point. We just got done finished filming our harsh reality video. So we're going to probably start a little bit further left, kind of where we would most often see us use this ball. I got that one going to the friction a little bit quick. As you can see, still bunted off of it pretty well. In our harsh reality, they ended up seeing it a little bit quick there and then kind of rolling forward off of it, whereas that one still shaped plenty and had enough to actually go by the 9 pin.
Yeah, so go off what Josh said. I also was a big fan of the UFO alert. I actually took this one and I went a little bit stronger than my UFO alert just because I already have a couple of pearl pieces that are going to be a little quicker. And by quicker, I just mean they respond faster down the lane. So more of a hockey stick motion. So this is a good pearl for me to...
yeah, so there's actually a button down where
hopefully let me stay right because it is going to go forward
there
a little bit more because it is lower RG. It's 248. It's got a bigger.
And you have to press it one more time after it's done.
I drilled this 4 by 3 by 1.5, and again I went with the 1.5. So with my rev rate, the lower numbers on the back kind of actually helped me get the ball to go forward a little bit more. So this is one of those probably medium patterns later in tournament blocks. When for carry purposes, I want to stay right. So as you see, I left that in the oil. And because it's going forward, it's going to snap the 10 out in those situations. I've thrown about 6 to 10 games on it so far. The only thing I did, I cracked the cover just a little bit with a 3000 pad. Again, my rev rate, the reactive gloss doesn't always match up for me very well. But I am a big fan of the E-Trax Pro. Any ball that has been in so far that I've thrown has been a high-scoring ball for me.
All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and cheat this one. Other left. Still try to get it right like the last one. A little bit closer. I ended up getting that one up the lane a little bit more than intended. So similar to what Dan did to his, I'm not a big fan of the reactive gloss finish on a lot of our pearl or the shiny balls either. So I did the same service prep as I did on my UFO alert. I go right from a burgundy pad to a gray pad right to a 3000 and then just kind of let a lane shine. They look like they're polished now because they got enough lane shine on them, but it kind of just gives me a little bit bigger window front to back with taking the polish off of them.
So I'm gonna stand where I just did on the last shot. I'm just gonna open the angles a little bit, just so you can see what it will do all for the dry. So I'll try to get it around that tracer down the lane. Sort of like that. So, you know, that's what it will do off the friction. So if I see that, I would actually just bump, I can just bump another dot left and keep the angle open. As you can see, the ball definitely slows down, goes forward down the lane. So
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump a little bit more left, slow the ball speed down a little bit and let the ball shape a little bit more. So I think that's kind of what the lane's calling for right now. Maybe I got a little bit of space to the right of me here. Oh. All right. Thought that one was pretty good. Might have been a touch quick there. And these lanes are getting pretty chopped up here. So the asymmetric balls are kind of locking up a little bit quick and going forward. I think you could just hop a little bit more left here.
all right, so from the last shot, if you watched, I opened my angles, got to the dry. I liked the response, so I'm going to try and bump a full dot here. Keep those angles open. So yeah, I mean that was a full dot. So I probably want one board too many. I'll go back and board on the next shot, and should see it go through the pins pretty flush.
So I promise the ball rolls better than we're making it look right now. So I actually used the Harsh Reality, this Attention Star, and the Exponent Pearl in a house shot event a couple weeks ago now. We had about 160 bowlers, and I finished in the top 6 using all 3 of those balls. First time I'd ever thrown them. Ended up averaging about 235, 240 on the day, and they all looked really good. Go ahead here and jump another a little bit left. There we go. So a couple more left here. Only move my eyes one left to try to get it right to that friction a little bit faster. As you can see, that one went through the pins a lot better.
Yeah, that was a good shot. All right, so I'm just going to bump one board back to the right. Again, I'm just going to try and keep it around that tracer. So yeah, that was one more board right. Roll off, never hurt anybody. So again, I mean, this is a ball I'm pretty sure I could strike a lot with right now if I had to. Just for the videos, I like to show you guys moving around what the ball does off the friction when it stays in that oil line. This very much looks like a ball that you can really blend when they get a little dirty. Probably right before, it's maybe where Zen Gold would come into play. With the symmetrical, just bump myself a little further left with quicker reacting balls.
Yeah, so for me, I think this is a really good complement to something like the Summit Peak. Yep. Even though the Summit Peak is a symmetric ball, it's one of the strongest cores that we have. So it's going to flare very similarly, and it probably has very close to, if not the same strength cover-wise. So it's just going to give you an asymmetric option. So it's going to want to slow down a little bit quicker, go a little bit straighter, but still provide the same amount of traction overall. So I'm going to go ahead and bump a couple more left, make sure I get this one right again, and then we'll go ahead and get into the UFO alert after this to show you guys how close I think they are. There you go. Again, a little bit more left, a little bit softer. Still got it right there, and it just blends off of it really well, which is exactly what I see out of the UFO alert when I end up throwing that one too.
Yeah, I don't know about Josh, but I know one of the things that I really liked about the UFO alert is it adapted to surface changes very well. So, at a tournament, if I had to change surfaces on the fly, I trusted it was going to do what I was trying to make the ball do. Very susceptible to hand changes. I can get around it when I want to. I can get up the back of it when I want to. And I get the response that I'm, looking to get. Again, I think that's a little bit of the E-Trax cover. So I'll throw one more shot, and then I'll throw the clone for you. So this compared to the clone is a little bit, believe it or not, actually a little bit longer for me. Probably about similar responding. So again, I got that. I closed my angles a little bit. Went around, kept the ball instead of going around the 6-pin. I went around the 3-pin. And it blends out for a shinier ball. It blends out that oil line very, very well.
Yep. So yeah, just like Dan said, I definitely thought the UFO alert as well took surface changes a lot better than most asymmetric shiny balls do. And for me too, even when it was shiny, it still saw that middle body of the pattern really well. So for me, in a lot of events, even now, I have throw my solar response balls and then I just throw them and basically just try to get the lane to come into the UFO alert. Because I know that if I can get into that, then I'm going to have a good shape with it. So I'll go back a little bit right to where I started with the attention star. And try to get going right a little bit and see if we can get these to shape pretty similarly. Oh. I think that one going quite as far right, but as you can see, it blended off very similar to kind of what the attention star would do. So I'll just keep kind of bumping left with that one there and see if we can get the shape similarly from another zone further left.
Yeah, if you pay attention to Josh's last shot, I think the only difference on that was the color of the ball. So everybody should be pretty excited that is looking to replace the alert or, didn't throw it or send it back. This is definitely a very good replacement. So I'll throw the clone now. Similar layout, just a taller pin. So all I did was move the pin distance just a little bit by 4.5. Probably 3.5 on the mass bias, and then the last number I just bumped up a little bit to get the pin a little bit taller. I also have a pin down in this so this has been one of my favorite releases of the last 6 months, just because of the versatility of the ball. Again, surface changes. So what I'll do first is I'll throw where I did that last shot, where I closed my angles, and it still had enough to get the 10 out. And this is going to be a little bit cleaner. So as you can see, a little bit cleaner. Little more shape down lane in the clone versus the attention star, but very similar. I can work well for both of those balls. As I learn the differences, just make a surface change in one or the other and let it ride.
All right, so I'm going to go and jump right where I finished with the attention star. See how this one shapes off the friction from a little bit further left. So I was just talking to Dan a couple minutes ago. I laughed because I ended up hunting down a case of UFO alerts, and I ended up throwing the attention star and think that they're pretty much dead equals with each other. So kind of made them almost obsolete in my bag, at least at this point. That one was a little bit further left than the last one, but as you can see, kind of what we're describing, both this alert and the attention star, they just see that middle part of the lane so well. So even for being a shinier piece, missing it a little bit more in the body of the pattern, it still has enough friction for it to slow down and shape properly.
Yeah, and for I know a lot of people getting ready to go to nationals here the next couple months. So everybody, I know likes to drill fresh surfaces and fresh balls to go out there with. I can see the attention star definitely being a ball on team event as a fresh ball, just because typically on team event out there they do hook a little bit more. So I personally usually like to start out with balls that are asymmetrical, just to help out blend out the back ends for a little while. So I can see this being a very good ball that is probably a must-have in the bag for nationals. So I'm going to jump for the next ball. I'm actually going to throw the Virtual Energy Blackout. Pretty similar to how the attention star is, just so you can see. Again, I'm just trying to show where it fits in. This is definitely going to be a little more hockey stick. Probably won't like the oil line. I'm going to have to get this to the dry, just so it shapes the right way. But I'm going to stand in the same spot. It's probably going to overhook. So yeah, as you can see, a blackout's definitely quicker off the spot. Much more responsive, probably picks up around the same spot, just quicker, and wants to go through the 8-pin almost to the 4-pin when it goes through the pins. So yeah, I definitely drill an attention star. It is probably going to be ball of the year, in my opinion. Josh has a case of UFO alerts sitting around, like he said, and I can see myself having a case of the attention star sitting around for rainy days.
Yeah, most definitely. So big fan of this one so far, and you saw we were able to string a couple together there, jumping around the lane. So if you guys are interested in drilling up your own attention star, make sure you head over to your local Storm VIP Pro Shop and pre-order your own for this Friday's release date.